if you begin to think outside the box, here's what that means. I was told by Catholic priests who told me there are things beyond the physical, that you're trying to make the world a better place, but there are spiritual aspects. I said, what do you mean by spiritual? You mean you have no locks on your door, and you bring everyone in your home, and you feed the hungry? Oh, no. So the word spiritual is not defined by what you mean by it. A truly spiritual person carries out the teachings of religion or the finest viewpoint they can carry. Now, Jesus never wrote anything. He talked to people. And people said, I think this is what he meant. No, he meant that. So you got all these different things. And then God, let's take God, for example, the old guy sitting up in the clouds who knows everything. He's omnipotent. You don't have to tell him anything. He made every bug, every tree, every galaxy. And then Jesus proceeds to insult him. Here's where he insulted him. Just before they crucified Christ, he looked up and says, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And God said, gee, I didn't know that. So how can you pray to a God? How can you talk to God? You can't even talk to Einstein, most people. And they're always talking to God. They think, due to ego problems, that they're specially selected. The Jews are God's chosen people. The Germans are the master race. You know, all these little egocentric people think that they're put here to lead the world into a better direction. I may get shot, like Martin Luther King. He tries to do something, boom, he gets shot. Now, the people that don't get shot, as a rule, are guys like Hitler. Why don't they get shot? They have a lot of guards around, and they condition everybody in the environment to be strictly Nazis. So the Nazi point of view was to protect the establishment. All money systems, as they begin to collapse and change, they move toward fascism, always. Now, most people don't know where the earth came from, they don't know where life came from, and so they invented a God who made a man and a woman, then he kicked them out of that beautiful garden. How did he do that? Snakes used to walk upright, and the snake said, eat of the fruit of knowledge. Who made the snake? God. But he loves you. Know the snake? And then he says, screw around with your best friend's wife. That's what the tempter was. So the snake was so bad that God got angry at what he created. And so from now on, you have to crawl on your belly. So that's another thing they have about horses. The reason a horse sleeps standing up, because some holy man once asked his horse to take him across the river. And the horse said, no, you have to sleep standing up. So he had all this stupidity. Galileo found seashells on the mountaintop. He took it to the Catholic Church, and he said, maybe the mountain was once under the water and was pushed up. And the church said, no, the devil put that stuff there to confuse you. Now, anybody that believes in God, you must think that the kind of God man makes more like themselves. The guy that gets angry, creates flood, disease, that isn't God. And if you don't follow the Bible according to God's teachings or your religion, you burn eternally. That sounds more like a psychopath, not God. So, if you believe in, I asked Einstein once, do you believe in God? And he said, which one? I said, well, he knew that the Jewish God says, if a man takes your son's eye out, you take his son's eye out. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. The Christian God says, when a man strikes you, turn the other cheek. That's what he means by which one. All these gods are jerks that man makes. They're more like themselves. They get angry, create floods, disease, all kinds of things. And you say, why did the bubonic plague kill half of the earth's population? And the church would say, we shall suffer for the sins of our parents. Scientists, when the bubonic plague began to wipe out people, they said, we don't know why that happens. That's very good. I don't know. So they found that fleas that live on rats infected people with the plague, and they began to kill the rat population and wiped out the plague. So I don't say science is perfect, but it's closer to our problems than any other system. So when man makes laws, it means they don't know how to solve problems. all man-made laws are BS, bad science. All man-made laws don't deal with problems. They make a law. What you really need is, it says, drive safely on the highway, slippery when wet. So you put abrasive in the highway so it's not slippery when wet, and take away that sign. It also says, drive carefully, school children crossing. I'm sure you've seen that. We designed a highway that looks like one comb intersecting another comb. And when the kid presses the button, the highway turns up like that. So no car can hit a kid. Do you understand that? That's what you really want. You don't want a sign out there. These dummies that are politicians are not technical. Now you got people really don't know what to do, so they put up a sign, thou shalt not steal, don't be dishonest. That doesn't change people. You can go to Sing Sing prison, you see guys with a cross around their neck. And I remember during World War II, how the minister of my church at that time, he blessed the war tanks and he blessed the soldiers. It was Catholic. And in Italy, they were blessing the war tanks there. Same priest, same religion. Religious people are extremely stupid because if you open the Bible, you'll see that Noah's Ark would have to be at least a mile long to take 2 kinds of every animal. And where do you get the polar bear and the giraffe? You know. And the ship would be so full of shit. Who cleans it out? So the stories in the Bible are not bad. They're fantastically elementary. Stupid stories about Moses lifting up his wand and the Red Sea parted. God could put the people on the other side of the Red Sea without parting it. Just go like that. And they say that God so loveth the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that others might have eternal life and not perish. Well, when you examine that, the witnesses, according to the Bible, say after Jesus was good, he arose and went back into heaven. Where the hell's the sacrifice? You understand what I mean? Read your Bible. Don't take my word for it. It's such a bunch of garbage written by very ignorant people. Scientists don't always check things out. They say, and we want to know how all of this began. Where did the word beginning come from? The Bible. So they said, what's the Big Bang? What was there the day before the Big Bang? Where did God come from? Who made him? How did he get the job? You know, nobody has that question. They all say, why do they believe in God? Because they've never been told enough about how nature works. You can take a steel ball and heat it to 500,000 degrees and it becomes a vapor, but it doesn't stop existing. It still exists as radiant energy or vapor. So in science books it says matter cannot be created or destroyed. That means that it never began. This notion about, even if I kicked a bucket, if you bury me 1 foot down in the soil, all the plants get taller above me. All the worms get fatter. So what happens at first? It becomes part of something else. So the stuff you eat is what you are. Your cells, if you eat chicken or cow meat, it's turned to human cells. So the stuff you're made of is stuff you ate. Plants, things of that sort. That was always here, and when you kick the bucket, the gases go off into space, your material is eaten by worms, the soil absorbs something. I don't like that. Sure, I wish I went to a land where everything was okay, and I had white wings. Now, all the angels painted on the ceiling in church, the wings are too small. They have to be at least the length of the body. Now, if the angels flew without wings, that would be a miracle.